Children wade in the water, and God's gonna trouble the water.
Looking back on life with that 2020 vision of hindsight, I can honestly see those single footprints in the sand where God has carried me the whole way. Growing up on the beach in Ventura, that metaphor meant a lot to me because I've always sensed God in his awesomeness, especially by the seashore. I was often called an overly sensitive child, and I was a brooder and a worrier, so I needed God to pull rabbits out of the hat for me often, and he has and does. As Annie likes to say, he's such a show-off. I call them Valentine from God moments. They're answers to prayers that I was even too confused to pray, just God reading my mind for me and meeting my needs. When I was 23, I fell off a ski slope and broke my back. I would have said then that it was the worst thing that had ever happened to me, but now I count it as one of God's tenderest gifts. All I needed was my mother to come and peel me out of my hospital bed and feed me and bathe me and humor me for 3 months until I could get back on my feet, which she did brilliantly. It was a second infancy, really. I don't know what I would have done without her. And then 6 months later, she dropped dead of a heart attack while she was moving my baby brother into his college dorm. I actually cherish the memories of those months with my mom, and I often think how extra awful it would have been if we had spent all that quality time together, recuperating just before we had to say goodbye. I was in shock for quite a while when she died. She was only 48. My sister and I moved in together, and we're sort of the weird, unemployable, undateable spinster pigeon sisters trying to find our mojo in life. Eating too much, drinking too much. I often told my mother that I would never get married or have children, but suddenly it was becoming more and more obvious that that would be the only thing that might heal that haunting, lingering feeling of grief. After a year or so of wallowing in it, Lucy Krakow moved in next door to me and changed everything. I consider that a miracle. Together we muddled through parenthood and so many cherished memories. One that stands out for me was a Mother's Day gift from our 15-year-old daughter, Lucy. A recording of Wade in the Water. It still gives me chills when I hear it. And as I write this in my window of our little houseboat on the water, sometimes it's so still and sometimes it's troubled. But I'm full of gratitude for all of it, and I want to give God all the glory for holding everything together. For his perfect strength in my perfect weakness. I wanted to read one quote that means a lot. It really resonates for me. I think by Alice Walker from Same River Twice. I think mothers and daughters are meant to give birth to each other over and over. And that is why when love and trust have not been too badly blemished or destroyed, the teaching and learning one from the other is so indelible and bittersweet. We daughters must risk losing the only love we instinctively feel we can't live without in order to be who we are. And I'm convinced this sends a message to our mothers to break their own chains, though they may be anchored in prehistory and attached to their own great-grandmother's hearts.